Adobe Premiere Pro 2018. Okay, so what we're going to do here is learn about loading and cutting a video file, the very basics. So what I'm going to do is new project, loading and cutting a video file, basics, number 1. Okay, so what we do is we get here after we've selected a new project, and what we need to do is we'll have a box in the corner here, and we need to import some media to start. So you can double click this box right there and it'll pop up. Then just search your computer to where you have your video file that you want. So for example, let's see, a good video file to show for this example is, how about my dogs? We'll go right over here. So we got a small clip right there, and it loaded right here. Now what we do is once we have it in the project area there, we can move it over to our timeline just by holding the left mouse button and scroll it right over. So just scroll that right over into here, and then you'll have your little video file here. So then you can play it. Now let's say I want to cut out the first part. I can go wherever I want to. This is the scrubber right here. You can kind of scrub across, and you have one down here also. If you click on the circle here, you can make it more sensitive or less sensitive. So let's say, for example, I want to cut out the first part of this video and just have where the dog yawns. So I can go right to the spot I need, and then you got a razor blade tool right here. Just razor blade right there, and then go back to the selection tool and go right here and just delete on both of them. Just press the delete key when you have them highlighted, and if you make a mistake, it's real easy. You can hold Control and press Z, and it'll just bring it right back. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to go right there and take them two out. Now we got a gap here. Well, we can either use this tool right here, which moves anything, and it'll move the track over and we can move it back, or we could just do the easy way. When you're on the selection tool, like see you got the gap right there, well, just right click right there and just do ripple delete, and it'll bring it back. So depending on what you need, like for example, if I took this clip and I wanted to razor blade right here, and let's say I wanted to move this clip up, and let's say I wanted to razor blade right here, and now I know this is gonna look all messed up, but you can kind of like, you could take your clip and you can move it right back here. You can move this one up, and you know, just like that, and then you can go there and ripple delete. So them are just the basic settings right there of just moving your clips around. This one is really handy because where the arrows are is where it's going to move over. So let's say I need to squeeze this in clip right there in the middle. Well, I can move this up, and then I can go over here, and then I can move it right like that. So then you can kind of get your clips and move them around. Now you don't want to have clips scattered everywhere and be really, you know, like not using this tool. This tool is very handy, and so I'd recommend getting good at it, because when you end up adding tracks here, like for example, I'm gonna add 3 tracks on here. Well, the thing about having so many tracks, why it's so good, is because you may end up having green screen animations going around on here, and you'll have multiple sound effects and things like that. And so each track's gonna have one, and when you have it load up, it's gonna be on the track, and you're gonna have it on the spots. You may have text flying around and cool animations and everything. So let's see how this looks. I did get the yawn, but I did mix up the clips and kind of mess it up. So hold Control and press Z. Yeah, try holding Control and then just press Z, and that got my clip back to restored back to how I was. Okay, so now we get the clip, and we have let's say we want to save it. What we would do is we go up here to File, and after you've edited your clip and you have it ready to export, you go over here to Export and then go to Media. Now, depending on your camera and what you're using, a lot of the time it can seem kind of confusing your first time or so. I mean, you got all these kind of things and stuff, but if you do match source high bit rate, it kind of matches the source of, so if you're getting it from a camera and let's say it's doing 60 frame rates a second, or super high graphics and this and that, that's good. On this down here, the VBR pass, I have seen online videos about having it at 2 and stuff like that, but when I use 10 and 12 here on the target bit rate and the maximum bit rate, that seems to work fine. I mean, if you're doing 4K or so, you may want to I may need to do some research and do another video on this, but let's just say for a basic export of what you do got, when you do match source of the high bit rate, and you're just looking to export your media file, it's going to have the output right here. So you pick a directory that you want your stuff to go to. For example, I like mine to go to, I just make a directory called videos and pictures, and then I just mix all my stuff up here. So let's say I want to do learning 1. So I could do that. Just press enter. Now it's going to do learning1.mp4, and it's going to be VRPass1, and it's going to be an estimated file size of 424 megabytes. And I can do export, and then what this will do is in the actual Adobe, it's not going to play as well as it does after you've exported it. When you exported it, it actually plays better, smoother, and it's when it's put everything all together and then you got your masterpiece. So that's training video 1 for you. Don't forget to subscribe, because I am going to bring you some really cool stuff. I'm going to show you how to use the Adobe Photoshop, to use the After Effects, to be able to put the animations into something really cool. And so subscribe, let's have fun and learn.